Welcome to your house. Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel. I just want one commitment from you. When you head to Mars, you won't take Jill. She could be gone too long. An astronaut, a Marine, a mom, a fellow American will take us to the moon, Mars, and beyond. That's America. Think about it. That's who we are. Good afternoon, everyone. As we celebrate new beginnings, Jill and I, along with Kamala and Doug, are honored to host a new national tradition. And I say a new national tradition. The first Nowruz reception on this scale ever held in the White House. And you're Excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold. It's a celebration that's been a millennium in the making, observed by millions of people around the world this very day. And the roots in ancient Persia, you know, one that was carried on by people in the gardens of Nowruz, the mountains of Kabul and Erbil, the shores of Baku and beyond, most of which I've got a chance to visit, but I got to get to come home too. And one that has always been honored anew by diverse diaspora and communities across the United States, including all of you. You know, folks, it's the start of a new year that reminds us of hope and what lies ahead from these darkest times so many have been through. And we know that this year's holiday comes at a difficult time for many families. Hope, where is needed more than ever, is going to be coming. Hope for families in Turkey and Syria who are grieving for the loss of far too many loved ones from that devastating earthquake. Hope for people in Afghanistan who continue to struggle with a grave humanitarian crisis. Hope for women of Iran who are fighting for their human rights and fundamental freedoms. Isn't it amazing how young your daughters or granddaughters are, how they're moved by what they see on television? It's amazing. Thank God it's hard for them to believe. It's hard for them to believe. The United States stands with those brave women and all the citizens of Iran who are inspiring the world with their conviction, and I have to emphasize their courage, their genuine courage. And together with our partners, we're going to continue to hold Iranian officials accountable for their attacks against their people. I also want to recognize two proud Iranian Americans with us today who know better than anyone the power of holding on to hope and the possibility of a new day. Jason, where's Jason? He's back there. Yevgeny and Rosalia. Look, Jason, you're both unjustly detained in Iran. Jason for 544 days. We worked very hard to bring him home when I was vice president. Thank you for both for being here today. And to all those who are unjustly detained in Iran or anywhere in the world, know that you are not forgotten and we will not stop trying to get you home. Returning wrongfully detained and people held hostage, and particularly Americans and their families, is a top priority for this administration. And I'm very glad to say that just today, an American aid worker, Jeff Woodkey, has been released after spending 6 years hostage in a terrorist group in North Africa. He'll soon be returned with his wife and family, and we'll continue our work to bring home all Americans held hostage and are unjustly detained. You know, in the 14th century, the Persian poet Hafez, said, "Out of the great need, we are holding hands and climbing. Out of the great need, we are holding hands and climbing." All around the world, wherever we need, the need is great. This holiday offers a moment for us to reach out and together to begin to climb toward a new day, one full of hope and new possibilities. I thank all of you. You've continued to spread the hope for this holiday across every part of our own country. We see it in the homemade pastries, the new presents exchanged. We hear it in the sound of children banging pots and the laughs of families who have come together. And we feel it in the communities that gather to make this celebration such a joyous part of American culture, one that reflects the soul of who we are as a nation. You know, it's a soul that we also see reflected at this Hafseen, and I'm tempted to walk over. Anyway, the sprouts that remind us of that we can always begin anew, the vinegar that symbolizes the power of tolerance, the apple that inspires us to believe in a more beautiful and healthy future, and even the table itself, a place where we gather in unity, a place where young and old come together to honor the past and the present, a place where we may disagree and debate, but we always, there's a seat for everyone. That's America at our best. Resilient, tolerant, courageous, hopeful, diverse. That's who we are. We're the only nation in the world built on an idea. Every other nation, that's not hyperbole. Every other nation is based on things like geography, ethnicity, religion. But we're the only nation built on an idea that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal, endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, etc. We've never fully lived up to it, but we've never, ever walked away from it. And that's due in large part to the ways of immigrant families who've come from every part of the world to push our nation ever forward, renewing and reinvigorating our nation, generation after generation after generation. We see that today in this very room. Maybe you or your parents or grandparents came to America uncertain of what life would bring, but certain you and your children and grandchildren would be able to do anything you wanted to do here. Try it. You've grown up seeing your children forged by their heritage, but also the kinds of friendships found every day in American things. Soccer practice, band practice, just those special times. And all the things that make an extraordinary life in our generation, in our great nation. And thanks to all of you for enriching the soul of this nation. Thank you for adapting old traditions anew to tell the ongoing story of America, one firmly stamped by your experiences. Let me close with this. Few periods have been more challenging to our world than the one we're going through right now. And we face an inflection point. I had a professor who said an inflection point is when you're going down the highway at 65 miles an hour and you radically turn 5 degrees to the right. You can never get back on the course you were on. Well, recent decisions points, the decisions we make today are going to determine the course of our future for the next several decades to come. Now more than ever, we need you. We need you engaged in the work of our time to help fulfill the promise of this nation. The same promise of opportunity, equality that brought you and your families here in the first place. That's what I hope for this very day, to celebrate and connect, to feel the pride of community, to keep the faith in our country. Out of a great need, we're holding hands and climbing. We have to keep climbing. I've never been more optimistic in my life about the future of this country, and I mean that sincerely. Let's remember who in God's name we are. We are the United States of America. There is nothing. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. There is nothing beyond our capacity if we do it together. Happy Nowruz to all of you and your families, and may God bless you all. Before the reception begins, we have a special performance for you. So we're going to get off the stage here and let you be truly entertained. Thank you. Thank you.
Distinguished guests, please welcome Grammy Award winner, Saba Motalebi. Distinguished guests, please welcome Rana Mansour.
Thank you so much. یک دست بلند برای صحبای عزیز. Iranian female Grammy winner. It's an honor to perform here today at the White House, to have been invited to perform here. This song, written by Shervin from inside of Iran, is the literal words, word by word, of the people living inside of Iran and the pain that they're going through every single day. I wrote a version in English so that the rest of the world could understand. For woman, life, liberty. the children who are starving for a loaf of bread, for the greed of politics and all the lies they spread, for all the mass polluted air we breathe, for all the litter in the streets and all the dying trees, for all the animals who suffer from elimination, for all the cats and dogs who love us without no conditions, for all the tears that seem to never end, for all the images that keep on turning in our heads, for a simple smile to last a little while, for the future generations fighting for their time, for empty promises of heaven in the afterlife, for all the imprisonment to beautiful minds, for all the babies who were born and for the ones who died, for all the times you told the truth, all the times you lied, for all the speeches that we heard about a million times, for all the shacks and shelters that were sold to make a dime for just a glimpse of a peaceful life, for the rising of the sun after an endless night, for all the pills we pop just to get some sleep, for all mankind in our country, for all the boys and girls who never knew equality, for woman, for life, liberty. Zan, Zindagi, Azadi. Thank you, President Biden and Dr. Biden, for this opportunity. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, thank you both so very, very much. You're incredible. You're incredible. Folks, you know, the Persian culture is amazing. As a student of the Persian culture, not a practitioner, but a student, it's incredible where the world is, where the world wouldn't have been without the culture. I really mean it. If you excuse me for quoting a non-Persian poet that relates to today, because I know the hope in all your hearts, your desire, I mean, it's real. You can feel it in this room. Just the looks on your faces. Those of you still have folks back there. Well, other people who have been persecuted as well have had poets that talk about their future. One of my favorite poets happens to be an Irishman named Seamus Heaney. And Heaney wrote a poem called The Cure at Troy. And there's a stanza in the poem that I think reflects what all of you are thinking, should be thinking, and will succeed in doing. He said, "History teaches us not to hope on this side of the grave, but then, once in a lifetime, that longed-for tidal wave of justice rises up, and hope and history rhyme." It's my sincere hope. We're doing everything in our power to make that happen. It's an incredible, incredible culture, incredible people. And thank you for being here. Thank you for making this day known to all Americans, because everybody watched this. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all you've done. And thank you for the incredible talent you sent. You're amazing. Did you want to say anything, Dave?
Please go and join the reception. Thank you. Thank you for coming to the White House.
You're amazing. Remember who you are.
Distinguished guests, please remain in the East Room.